We live surrounded by noise, the incessant sound of notifications, the pressure for quick responses, the endless flow of information. The mind never rests. Have you noticed how, even in moments of rest, your brain keeps running, processing worries, reviewing conversations, and anticipating problems? This excess of stimuli distances us from the present moment, fuels anxiety, and robs us of our ability to simply be. But what if silence were the answer? Not just the absence of sound, but an internal space of tranquility and clarity. Great philosophers and spiritual masters have always valued silence as a path to self-knowledge, a refuge against the chaos of the external world. In Stoicism, meditation, and spirituality, it is not empty, it is full. In this video, you will discover how silence can transform your life, how it can give you more focus, more balance, and more peace. You will learn why great sages cultivated silence and how to incorporate it into your daily life in a practical way. So take a deep breath, step away from the noise for a moment, and join me on this journey of rediscovery. Have you ever noticed how we are always surrounded by stimuli? From the moment we wake up, we are bombarded by notifications, news, conversations, and constant noise. At every moment, something demands our attention. The modern world has trained us to fill every empty space with some form of distraction, making silence almost non-existent. But this excess comes at a cost. Our mind never stops. The overload of information makes us restless, anxious, and mentally exhausted. Studies show that continuous exposure to noise and distractions reduces our ability to concentrate and increases stress. It is no surprise that many people constantly feel overwhelmed, as if they are always chasing something without ever reaching true calm. Silence, on the other hand, offers us an opportunity to pause. It allows us to slow down, regain mental clarity, and find an inner space of serenity. It is not about isolating ourselves from the world, but about creating moments where we can simply exist without the need to react to every stimulus. And this is precisely what great thinkers like the Stoics understood and practiced. They knew that silence is not an absence, but a powerful tool to transform how we perceive and live reality. Now, let's explore how this wisdom was applied by the Stoics and why silence was essential to their balance and inner strength. The Stoics saw silence not as emptiness, but as a space of power. For them, speaking less and observing more was an exercise in discipline and self-control. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most influential Roman emperors and Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations, "Learn to be silent, even if you know the answer." This simple idea reveals a profound principle. Not everything needs an immediate response, and silence can be more powerful than any word spoken in the heat of the moment. Another great Stoic, Epictetus, taught that we only have control over our thoughts and actions, but not over the opinions or reactions of others. He saw silence as a shield against impulsiveness. How many times do we react quickly to a situation and later regret it? Silence gives us time to process, reflect, and respond rationally rather than emotionally. The Stoics also practiced ataraxia, a state of unshakable serenity. This concept is directly linked to the ability to cultivate moments of inner silence, distancing oneself from the mental and emotional noise that frequently consumes us. For them, speaking less meant thinking more deeply and acting with greater wisdom. Today, we live in a completely different scenario, but the lesson remains relevant. If the great sages of history valued silence as a tool for growth and clarity, perhaps it is time for us to reclaim this habit in our own lives. But how can we apply this Stoic philosophy in practice? The answer lies in the connection between silence, meditation, and spirituality, something we will explore in the next chapter. If Stoicism teaches us to use silence as a tool for self-control, and clarity, meditation, and spirituality show how it can connect us to something greater, whether it be our own essence, the present moment, or a deeper purpose. Different spiritual traditions value silence not as an absence of sound, but as a sacred space for self-knowledge and transcendence. In Buddhism, for example, silence is the foundation of vipassana and Zen meditation. The idea is simple. By silencing the mind, we learn to observe our thoughts without attaching to them. This reduces anxiety and teaches us that not every emotion needs an immediate reaction. In Christianity, practices like contemplative silence and spiritual retreats show that often it is in the absence of words that we find the deepest answers. Even Sufi mystics and Eastern traditions like Taoism see silence as the path to understanding reality beyond the distractions of the mind. And what about the Stoics? Although they were not religious, they practiced silence as a way to strengthen the spirit. For Marcus Aurelius, moments of silence were essential for reflecting on life and aligning his actions with his principles. The question is, when was the last time you experienced a real moment of silence? No notifications, no worries, just being present in the now. In the next chapter, we will see how to bring this practice into daily life and cultivate moments of silence in a simple yet transformative way. By now, we understand the value of silence and how it was practiced by Stoics, meditators, and spiritual leaders throughout history. But how can we bring this practice into our daily lives in a world where noise and distractions seem to be everywhere? The answer lies in small habit changes that, when cultivated consistently, can transform our relationship with silence. Here are 4 practical ways to start. Morning silence. Before reaching for your phone, before interacting with the external world, try starting your day with 10 minutes of absolute silence. Simply sit in a quiet place, take a deep breath, and allow yourself to just be. This small ritual prepares your mind for a day with more focus and less reactivity. The pause before responding. How many times have we spoken impulsively and later regretted it? The Stoics recommended waiting a moment before responding to any situation. When someone asks you a question or provokes you, take a deep breath and wait 2 or 3 seconds before speaking. This small pause allows for a more conscious response, avoiding unnecessary regrets. Moments without distractions. At every moment, we are tempted to fill empty spaces with some form of stimulus, whether it's a podcast while driving, a video during meals, or music to avoid silence. But what if instead we created small intervals of silence throughout the day? It could be something as simple as taking a walk without headphones, driving in silence, or simply sitting for 5 minutes, doing nothing. These moments help the mind slow down and process thoughts more clearly. Silence before bedtime. The modern world has conditioned us to sleep with stimuli, whether it's scrolling through our phones, watching videos, or listening to something, to shut off the mind. But in reality, this practice only further overloads our brain. Creating a ritual of silence before bed can drastically improve sleep quality and reduce nighttime anxiety. Try spending 15 minutes in total silence before lying down, focusing only on your breathing. With these simple practices, silence stops being something distant and becomes a real tool for greater mental clarity, inner peace, and focus. But what are the long-term impacts of this change? In the next chapter, we will explore the transformations that silence can bring to your life. After incorporating small moments of silence into daily life, the benefits become more apparent. What once felt uncomfortable now becomes a refuge. But what exactly are the effects of this shift? How can silence truly transform the way we live and interact with the world? Greater mental clarity. Without constant interruptions, our mind can better organize thoughts. When we reduce excessive stimuli, we begin to recognize patterns in our behavior, find solutions to problems more easily, and make more well-thought-out decisions. Silence gives us time to think before acting, something the Stoics deeply valued. Inner peace. Many of the internal conflicts we face are fueled by external noise and the constant need to stay busy. When we learn to feel comfortable with silence, we develop a sense of calm that does not depend on what is happening around us. This state of serenity makes us less reactive and more resilient in the face of life's challenges. Enhanced focused. Excessive stimuli trains our brain to become easily distracted, but silence acts as an antidote. It strengthens our ability to stay attentive to what truly matters. People who cultivate moments of silence report higher productivity, better concentration, and a deeper sense of presence in their daily activities. These changes may seem small at first, but over time they become a true turning point. Imagine a life where your mind is not constantly restless, where you can make decisions with clarity, and where the stress of daily life no longer has such a strong impact on you. This is what silence can offer. In the next and final chapter, we will reflect on this journey and how you can start applying it today. Silence is neither emptiness nor isolation. It is a space of reconnection, an invitation to slow down and listen to what truly matters. In a world where we are constantly stimulated, cultivating moments of silence is an act of resistance and self-transformation. In this video, we explored how silence can bring greater mental clarity, inner peace, and focus, helping us live with more balance. We learned from the Stoics the importance of speaking less and observing more, saw how various spiritual traditions use silence to strengthen the mind, and discovered simple practices to incorporate this tool into daily life. Now, the question is, how can you start this change today? My suggestion is simple. Set aside 5 minutes of your day for silence. It could be in the morning, before bed, or during any moment of pause. Just be present and observe. Over time, these minutes will expand and transform the way you experience life. If this message resonated with you, share in the comments. How does silence impact your life? If you want more content about Stoicism, mindfulness, and well-being, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.